Through Berkeley Radical, our 1819 season explores two searingly important issues of our day. We seem to be living through fairly confusing times, and the performing arts have a fundamental role to step in. Artists throughout history have been the ones who've helped give voice to thoughts and ideas that words alone cannot. What I hope Cal Performance's 2018-19 season does is to inspire and engage and beautify our world, and you'll find a season full of incredible transcendent moments, the greatest artists of our day, and some works that will stay with you for a long time after you leave the hall. This season, our two Berkeley Radical strands engage with powerfully important issues of our day. The first one, citizenship, really engages with the question of home and what does it mean to be a citizen? What are our roles and what are our obligations as citizens, not just of our countries, but of our communities and of the world at large? The other strand addresses another searingly important subject, and that is the work and the role of women in our society. The season is full of highlights, and whenever I get asked this question, I feel like I have to choose between my children. But let me just run through a few of the really front-of-mind performances that I want to share with you. The first of our two events at the Hearst Greek Theatre is our Gala at the Greek, now becoming a tradition, and I'm thrilled that Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, with special guest John Baptiste, will be the featured artist at the Gala at the Greek. The music is the music of Duke Ellington, one of America's greatest 20th century composers. Just a week after that, Yo-Yo Ma continues his exploration of the music of J.S. Bach, the suites for solo cello that he began exploring at the Greek several years ago. To hear him perform that music in that environment is one of the most enchanting, captivating, and beautiful experiences you can possibly have. It is just a profound honor to be able to welcome one of the greatest musicians of our day, the conductor, pianist, thinker, philosopher, teacher, Daniel Barenboim, who will be appearing here on the stage of Zellerbach Hall with the West Eastern Divan Orchestra. We have been talking to Daniel Barenboim and the orchestra since 2009 about the possibility of an appearance here, and it is such a thrill to finally be able to welcome them. This is an orchestra that he created 20 years ago with the philosopher, scholar Edward Said, and the idea here was to bring together young musicians from around the Middle East to perform the music, in this case of Strauss and Tchaikovsky. Another great moment, which features also in the citizenship strand, is the return visit of the Philharmonia Orchestra with conductor Esa-Pekka Salonen, their principal conductor. They will be here for a 3-concert residency, which features some momentous music, Bruckner's 7th Symphony, for example, or Stravinsky's Complete Firebird. They'll also be premiering the music of a Berkeley composer. Jimmy Lopez, who's a Berkeley graduate, is a worldwide recognized composer, and he's written a piece especially for this occasion called Dreamer. He and his collaborator, the writer-playwright Nilo Cruz, have been talking to dreamers on the campus of UC Berkeley and getting their stories from them. And these stories are the inspiration for the words and the music of Jimmy Lopez and Nilo Cruz. We were able to bring the piece to the stage because of the support of the Hewlett Foundation, who, in celebrating their 50th anniversary, have commissioned 10 musical organizations to create 10 new pieces of music as a sort of living celebration of the Hewlett Foundation's 50th birthday. And no season would be complete without a visit by Mark Morris Dance Group. We are now into the 4th decade of our relationship with them, and the piece they'll be performing this year to start our season is a piece called Pepperland that Mark Morris created. Cal Performances was a lead commissioner of this work. Pepperland celebrates the 50th anniversary of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the Beatles' seminal album. And inspired by the music of the Beatles, Mark Morris has created a sumptuous, gorgeous choreography. Another long-time collaborator with Cal Performances and an artist beloved by us and by our audiences is Jody Savile. He has spent his life always searching for new and innovative ways of expressing some of the most important things that music can express. And in this concert, which he's entitled The Roots of Slavery, he traces not just the geographical journeys that the slaves took, but also the music that they brought with them. So this is a concert that gives a massive geographic panoply around continents, but also around the ages. Jody Savile is rare as a musician scholar. He is both a world-class performer and an incredible explorer of music. We've long been talking to him about the possibility of a larger scale performance on our stages, and I'm delighted that those conversations finally came to fruition.
One of the highlights of our theater season this year is the performances of Enemy of the People, directed by Thomas Ostermeyer, coming from the Schaubühne in Berlin. This is a company that so rarely is able to leave. They're so popular in Germany. They're so busy in their home theater in Berlin that they really have just a few weeks of touring to share each year, and that they have decided to come and share one of those weeks with us is a really wonderful privilege. In this draft of Enemy of the People, Dr. Stockman is conceived as the singer of an indie band, and all of us in the audience become part of the democracy that commits the ultimate sin of the play. So we're all indicted in this version, and I think it's an incredibly exciting view of this classic work. Also on the theater season, we're thrilled to welcome a new play by Inua Ellam's The Barbershop Chronicles, which ran to great success at the National Theatre in London, a co-production of Fuel Theatre and West Yorkshire Playhouse. This is a work that speaks so beautifully of immigration. It is a work that takes place in 5 cities across the African continent, as well as in South London. And it speaks to the relationships of fathers and sons, and particularly how that plays out in the frame of immigration. The play was somewhat inspired by the barber shops that were in the neighborhoods where Inua grew up. He leverages the unique and private relationships that people have in those very, very close community settings and what they're willing to share and talk about.
Our Berkeley Radical strand, entitled Women's Work, takes on a variety of genres and geographies performed by leading women artists from around the world. We welcome the Queen of Ranchera, Aida Cuevas, and the Mariachi Juvenil Tecalitlan to the Zellerbach Hall stage. She is the only artist allowed by the estate of Juan Gabriel to perform his music. Nicola Benedetti, a world-class violinist, and another artist always searching for the next new and inventive way to explore both the music of our time and the music of the past, returns to Cal Performances. She has become a fast friend of our organization. This time she comes in recital, and among the works she'll be performing is a work specially written for her by Wynton Marsalis. As the youngest person ever to win the Queen's Medal for Music, Nicola Benedetti is a powerful advocate for the role of music in society, for the importance of music education, and she is celebrated as much for the power of her performances on stage, which are phenomenal, as she is for her role as an advocate for the importance of music in our society.
We're thrilled to welcome Sasha Watson guests back to our stage. This will be in performances of her seminal work, Körper, which was actually created at the Schaubühne in 2000. It's a work that reflects on how our bodies respond to various different kinds of pressure, whether that pressure is medical or from technology or from a societal pressure, and is told beautifully in haunting tableaus. Nearly 2 decades after its premiere, this work speaks still so powerfully to our moment. At a time when our season is focused on questions of migration and questions of oppression and questions of who belongs, the whole concept of bodies and where the skin starts and where the skin stops in a dance is a powerful metaphor for all of these same ideas. Brand new to Cal Performances this season, QuoteUnquote Collective will perform their duet Mouthpiece. This was a work that was a runaway hit at the Edinburgh Festival, and it speaks to the story of a young woman coming to grips with the loss of her mother. There's a blending of stylized speech, of dance, of movement, and of incredible emotive power, truly unvarnished emotion that makes this piece what it is. There's a bravery in this performance that is complex, it is original, and it's absolutely inspiring. Annie B. Parson comes to us with Big Dance Theater and a piece called 17C, which takes 17th century texts, both the most complicated and offensive texts and the most radical feminist texts of that day, and puts them side by side, as seen through documentarians in the 21st century. While you might find yourself laughing at how offensive the language in 17C is, you might also recognize that these issues have not gone away. Big Dance Theater is known for its multimedia, multidisciplinary approach, where they roll all kinds of things together in ways you would never expect. And this is no exception. It's hilarious, it's fun, and it's scathing.
The performing arts, the work of great artists on our stages today, helps illuminate our world. And sometimes in a moment of great vulnerability, that's where artists step in, and that's where those moments of beauty, of transformation can happen. You come to a performance, you come away changed. The world is an easier place to understand.